Last April, Cash Bierman suffered a dog attack. For more than half a year, the world has watched Zolciak's young son recover. But we've all wanted to know, how did it happen? Well, now Kim and Croy are revealing exactly how Cash's attack, the one that left his face marred and in need of plastic surgery, went down. Most shockingly, they've revealed that the dog that attacked Cash was one of their own. For the longest time, the world has assumed that Kim Zolciak was keeping mum about the details of Cash's dog attack for legal reasons. A lot of dog attacks result in lawsuits, after all. It turns out that this doesn't seem to have been the case, and we'll get to learn so much more about what happened tonight, as Kim Zolciak has posted this on her Instagram. There are no words to describe the episode tomorrow night of Don't Be Tardy New Time 9 p.m. EST. Croy and I, after a few tough days and many conversations, decided to share our story about Cash and the dog bite. We know that this has to be a hard story to share. I'm sick to my stomach and my eyes are full of tears as I try to even write this. The sole purpose we did share this was to raise awareness that this can happen to anyone. Hey, credit where credit is due, Kim Zolciak is using her platform to raise awareness even though it's a very tough subject. I'll never forget Cash's plastic surgeon a few weeks after the bite and Cash's surgery. We'd imagine not. He looked me square in my eyes and said, "You guys know how blessed you are." It was less than a millimeter from his eyeball. His waterline was sliced in half. And you have the platform to raise awareness, and I hope you do. Well, Dr. Williams, you best believe we will. Some might accuse sharing this story as being self-serving, but, are they really just going to sit on their hands and let rumors swirl? Cash has healed incredibly and we are so grateful, Kim writes, before listing way too many people. Anyway, the doctors did a great job and his school was supportive. It sounds like Kim knows that her emotions will get the better of her if she tries to in any way live blog the episode. I will not be doing Igor FB Live tomorrow night, but I will be back on next week. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Heart emoji. P.S. My cashew is the strongest little boy I know. But Kim Zolciak has revealed to people what happened, giving the world a preview of this sad story. The dog that bit Cash was none other than their own dog, Shin. Our dog Shin is heavily trained. Cash is his favorite. It made absolutely no sense to any of us. This is nothing I ever thought I'd be dealing with in my life. No one ever does. Apparently, the way that this went down is that they were all outside and Croy was using the leaf blower. Like vacuum cleaners, such loud machines can make dogs extremely agitated. So Shin was stressed at the time. My back was to the dogs and the boys. I hear Cash be loud, and then I hear barking. And then I hear Cash screaming. He's crying very loud. At first, Kim didn't realize what had happened. At that point I think he's scared, but then I realize Shin bit Cash. He's dripping blood everywhere on his shirt. Terrifying. And remember, head wounds bleed more profusely than the same kind of injury would elsewhere, because of how our circulatory systems work. So the blood would have been very dramatic. And then there was the injury itself. He pulls his hands down and there's multiple lacerations. I can't see his eye. I knew it was a very dire emergency. Thus, Cash was rushed to the hospital, which is how the world learned of this in April. Kim talks about what the aftermath has been like and the emotional toll that it's had on the whole family. It's a process every day. Being right there, it was just wrong place, wrong time, wrong circumstances. The perfect storm. Had one thing been different, it wouldn't have happened. You try to say, what would I have done differently? And there are a lot of things. But you can't change any of it. You just have to learn from it and grow from it. Hindsight is 20/20, and all that. There are no words to describe something like this. I just pray that any parent out there does not have to go through anything traumatic like it. It's just a horrible feeling to have to go through. Knowing that dogs, especially younger dogs, Probably shouldn't be too close to young children when they're in an agitated state. In some ways, Kim says, the attack didn't quite feel real. It was like a bad dream. Croy shared that, in the aftermath, they had Shin removed from their home by a trainer. Initially, Croy wanted Shin out of their family. However, there were a couple of turning points for Croy and Kim. One was that, even in the hospital, Cash was asking after Shin. Honestly, that is just so precious and also heartbreakingly sweet. The other was that they learned that Shin had bitten Cash, exactly once. This wasn't an attack, it was an attempt at communication, and one that Shin instantly regretted. It was not an attack, he nipped at Cash's face in an attempt to communicate with Cash. Not that that is an excuse. But he took off running. It wasn't as if he was attacking. Shin knew he had done wrong. Ultimately, Kim and Croy decided that keeping Shin, with new safety precautions, was the best decision to make for Cash's well-being. We didn't want him to live a life with a phobia of dogs. We wanted him to understand it wasn't his fault. That's where Cash's pit bull puppy comes into play, too. That Cash has maintained his love of dogs throughout all this shows what a sweet, precious little man he is. To quote Kris Jenner, "You're doing amazing, sweetie."